Welcome to Rges Pre-Algebra. This is lesson 1.12 on fractions. Let's look at a simple fraction. Let's say we're looking at the number 1/3. If I were to multiply both the top and the bottom by any number, let's say 2/2, remember with fractions you multiply straight across. Numerator times numerator equals 2. 1 times 2. Denominator times denominator, 3 times 2 is 6. So 1/3 and 2/6 are equivalent fractions. I could have also taken 1/3 and multiply it by 5/5. Notice as long as I'm multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same value, I would get 5/15, and 1/3 and 5/15 are the same equivalent, I should say, the equivalent fractions. Notice I could also do it in reverse. I could say 7/21 or 21st, and I would want to divide both by 7. 7 divided by 7 equals 1, and 21 divided by 7 equals 3. And so what I'm telling you is that 7/21 is an equivalent fraction to 1/3. Doesn't matter whichever way you do it, whether you divide both the numerator and denominator by the same value or you multiply both by the same value. All of those are called equivalent fractions, and I can make lots of different equivalent fractions. I could have taken 1/3 and multiplied it by 7/7, or 12/12, or 15/15, or 100/100. It really does not matter at all. Okay, why is that? Well, if you will notice what I've multiplied by in each of these cases, 2/2 is 1, and anything multiplied by 1 equals itself. So this is the same form, or it's different numbers, but it is equivalent to that. Okay, I've multiplied here by 1. I've multiplied here by 1. So I've not changed the value of my fraction when it's on either the left side here or the right side here. All right, so they're going to ask you, recall the top number is always the numerator, the bottom number is the denominator. They will ask you to make equivalent fractions, and all you have to do with having higher terms, it says on your first part of your problem set, and so that means be sure you're multiplying rather than dividing. Now, when we divide by the same number, we are reducing the fraction, and we definitely care about our ability to be able to reduce fractions to their simplest form. So let's say I have 3/6. What number divides evenly into both 3 and 6? And that would be a 3. And so this is the same as 1/6 divided by 3/2. That is the reduced form of the original fraction, 3/6. What if you had a number like 12/18? Well, I can't just take the top number and divide it evenly into the bottom number, so I would have to think what number divides evenly into both of these. Now, I might be able to look and get the highest number right away, but maybe I can't. Maybe all I can see is that, well, they both divide by 2 evenly. And so I'm thinking in my head, dividing by 2, right? I could think just divide by 2 in my head. Okay, I'm just thinking, and so that would be 6/9. Or I could write it out like we did above, making it look more like, divide by 2 over 2, 16, or 12 divided by 2 is 6, 18 divided by 2 is 9. Either way, I don't care if you just start thinking it at this point, as long as you're doing it accurately. Now, my problem is I have reduced this fraction to a new fraction. It is equivalent in a reduced form because I've divided, but it is not simplified. Why? Because I can still divide 6/9. I could divide both the top and the bottom by 3, leaving me with 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So this is the simplified form right there. This is an equivalent fraction, but not the simplest. So when I ask you to reduce, I want you to go all the way to the simplest form. How do I do that? Well, I either identify right away that the largest number that divides evenly into both of these is 6. So 12 divided by 6 is 2, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. Or I take an intermediate step, but I must always ask myself, is that reduced all the way? And keep dividing over and over until I get something that cannot be reduced. One thing you always want to do is ask, does the first number divide evenly into, let's say I put 25 here. Does the numerator divide evenly into the denominator? And if so, you'll always get 1 over something. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So this, the reduced form of that fraction, is 1/5. So that's a fast way to identify several of them, okay, as you're going along. And that's all we'll learn about fractions today. Of course, we'll be doing lots more work with fractions.